Hello, everyone. What do I have there? Okay, weird. See if anybody's joining me today. Whew, big breath in and out. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. And thank you, everyone, for watching the replay. Oh, I wasn't going to do a live today. One, it sounds might sound egotistical. It's just I haven't had a lot of response with my lives. So I am just putting it out there and reaching out there to those who do watch my lives or hear my lives if there's still interest in me doing them. Uh because I do enjoy doing them. I really do because it gives me a chance to sort of talk about what's in my head, which can be pretty crazy at times. And just to get out there and connect with people. So or I might be thinking about just doing it maybe 3 times a week, if that, or just doing pre-recorded ones and then just uploading them and do that. So, just getting feedback for those who watch the replay on this and just let me know what you think about the lives. So, today's Valentine's Day. And yes, we do have a lot. Of course, we got a lot going on, but I'm just saying, like, I have to say, the the heightened intensity of how things are moving are getting to a point where there's no turning back. Like this isn't a time to, I guess, give up on things. Here I am, I'm talking about my lives, right? Just to give up on things just because you are, I don't know, don't want to do, I don't know, you're just giving up. This is where I can see a lot of breakups happening with this energy that's coming in right now, and the intensities that are very overwhelming for people. So just going to my notes today. Uh, it is where with a very tight conjunction and a stellium that's coming into Aquarius. It is, it's interesting because coming in with Pluto there, Pluto is wanting to give something, or there's some kind of transaction, but you may not know everything that's going to be happening there because it's Pluto. Pluto is Hades. He's the god of the underworld. And this is so far out. I mean, in Aquarius, when you look at it, it's like way out there. It's really not coming in to the personal like planets. The first 4 or 5 planets of the really are the personal ones, the spring and the summer. When it gets to the fall energy, it starts to move outwards quite a bit for our energies. So this is self-work, our values. And the square for over the next 2.5 days, especially with Venus, and Venus will be coming into Aquarius on Friday. This is restraint. There's going to be feeling of unfairness or illusions or things not going the way I want it to go. And again, this is where it's like understanding that maybe it is going the way, maybe it's going, or maybe it is really working out and doing something really fabulous, but you're unable to see it as yet. That's as I'm talking here, I'm just thinking about what I said earlier about my lives. If people are still interested in me doing my lives or not, because of the response. Now, of course, when you do these things, and I'm in an industry that works with people, you want to hear people's opinions. You want to find out what they would like to see, or how they would like to receive information, I guess. But this is, things feeling very far out, very left field, I guess you would say. And being in that left field energy, you might be feeling very despondent. And being Valentine's Day, it's kind of funny because Valentine's Day, you wouldn't think of it being in Aquarius. Aquarius isn't really the lovey-dovey sign. Leo is more of the lovey-dovey sign than per se. Um Aquarius is, Aquarius is flirtatious, they're very flirtatious sign, but they're not a let's get to the heart kind of energy, energy. And especially now that you have Pluto there, you have Mercury there, you have Mars there, and it's this intensity of communication and wanting to go forward, and Venus is coming in almost there. She's at what, 28 or 29 degrees today, coming very close to making that conjunction with Pluto, and wanting to find out more information of the depths of the expansion of where I can go, what can I do, what can I see, how can I connect or not connect, what is that field. Aquarius is very good friends. That's where Valentine's Day should be a friendship day per se, but it is Valentine, and it is my anniversary. I mean, I've been married 37 years to Steve. So it was, we had a choice, or we had a choice. We didn't have a choice. He had I made a choice. Either I was going to get married on Valentine's Day or St. Patrick's Day. And whichever day landed on a Saturday, and Valentine's Day and landed on a Saturday. So that was the day I chose. Making it very easy. I didn't want to have a spring wedding or a summer wedding. I just wanted to have something small, intimate, very inexpensive. The only thing that was expensive at that time was getting flowers, and the florist that we worked with was a good friend of the family's. So she recommended beautiful silk flowers for my wedding, because roses were triple the price at that time because it's Valentine's Day. But it's where, say per se, 37 years, and then I decide, oh, okay, this isn't working anymore. And I walk out. I mean, this isn't the time to do that. This is a time to look, okay, what isn't working out, and how can we deal with it? What is it? What is your issue, Mary? Kind of thing. Let's work on this. And that's part of this energy is coming in too, because you might feel like you have to fix things, or you want to get things done, or it's not working the way that you want it to work, or whatever it is. um it's it's not just to sort of walk away and look at the things that you have built, look at the things that you have created. So when you look at the things that you've created and what you've built, and really allowing it and some of and I got like, it's like allowing it, and maybe there's stuff that's there that is just there. It's just there, like you have it, or you've kept it aside, but you haven't done anything with it, but you just know it's there, and it might have some value, but you're not going to, you're not gonna do anything. So you might have collected maybe you've collected Spode for years, and which is a China set, and you've collected all these pieces, and it might be extremely expensive, like if you went to sell it, but to you it's priceless. There is nothing. And that's part of it too. It's like looking at, yeah, I got some really beautiful things that are really priceless and might be worth a lot, but I'm not just going to sell it for the sake of selling it just to think I'm gonna get ahead, kind of thing. Um, and that's part of it too. This isn't also this, energy isn't a time if you're gonna get any type of cosmetic surgery or something along that line. I wouldn't do it this time. You'll find that it'll probably backfire somewhere along the line within the next month or so. Something will happen with that. This is, too, where if people are finding where you're going to find, I got, and it's funny because I just had a good friend text me, but diagnosis of things. If you have been not taking care of oneself. And some of this goes back into last year or spring of last year, in the energies of last year. What were you thinking? What were you manifesting? I went back into my notes, and I was looking at like, holy shit, um, a lot of things that I was afraid of came full circle this year. And at the beginning of this year of my age and, work, finances, and all that kind of stuff, uh, and sort of came out really in front of me. And I was sort of stewing about them in spring of last year, even before I hit, the age I'm at now. So there was this energy that was coming in. I was trying to say I got like energy, but I feel like this whatever I was putting out there and wanting to put out there. And plus I began to work quite a bit at that time too, because I noticed my sporadic in writing. I wasn't as consistent in writing every day because I was getting up, going to work, sometimes working 8, 12 hours a day, and then coming home, getting up and doing the same thing and working, many days in a row, um, whether that was 10 days in a row or 7 days, sometimes 6 days, and then get a day break and shit like that, right? So, I wasn't, in the consistency of where I was spiritually and where I want it to be spiritually, and I was reading it within my notes from last year where I was feeling a disconnect and really wanted to get back connected with my spiritual practice and having a practice that brings me into alignment to what I do. Yet, which it has, it has. It's come into this, where I am. It's funny because now I'm coming into a very alignment into a deep spiritual direction, which is more of a personal one, not so much as an open one to go out and teach it per se, but it is one that is a personal one. And I think that was a lot of what I was missing last year, and I was talking about it, and now it's sort of coming full circle where I'm feeling that connection of that intimacy of my own practice and wanting to connect with that practice. Yet still some of the issues that were there last year are rising up. I can see those issues rising up and showing to me. But this is it, is that yeah, the issues are there. Now this is what I got. The issues are there, but the thing is that you want to transform, and that's part of this energy is coming into a transformation. You want to transform within this energy, and this energy is explosive, intense. Um, it is very shaky. Especially with that Chiron North Node energy is going to be with us for a while because they don't move very fast. And it is very where it's like coming into the deepness of our wounds and coming into the deepness in the heart and the depth of what we need to come forth into the transformation and wanting to come into a transformation, right? Hello, I finally jumped on the YouTube train to watch you. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you. I'm honored. Thank you. And this transformation, in order for it to happen, like I was saying, like you have a collection of something and you have it, you're not doing anything with it. It's there, it gets used, or you look at it or what have you. But it's it's that surrendering. That's the word I'm trying to get to. It's that surrendering. It's like surrendering. It's there. It's there. You don't have to do anything with it. And that's going to be the hardest part because you want to control it. You want to have your comfort. But in order to come into this transformation that's coming forward, in order for us to move into this change, a huge dramatic change, and this is where there is going to be explosions and things happen around us. There's going to be crazy things on the news. Um, we're going to see the extremes of things starting to become extreme within our life and within the world around us. And you thought it was extreme already. And I hate to tell you, it's going to escalate because it's in that escalation that you let go. because you want to have control, right? You want to have those comforts. But to totally surrender, we are to trust and turn away from self-reliance. And and I'm just like, "Oh, okay. Just totally trust." It's and it's like, when you say, to move away from that self-reliance, that means that it's like, you know what? There's a lot of things that are gonna go on that I will want to have control over. I wanna have control over my finances. I wanna have control over where I'm gonna put my finances and how they're going to grow. Because I wanna have control over that because I want comfort. But we're entering over the next, especially as we're gonna be building up to this next full moon, that you gotta let it go. If you got them in a place and it's a good place, then I wouldn't do too much with it. But if you're trying to move it around and trying to get ahead in some way, maybe I'll earn, maybe if I sell it off and I'm going to get $100,000 or whatever it is, maybe not. I'm going to sell it off and I'm going to be in hopefully I think I'm going to be in a better place because I'm in control. I want that comfort. But the energies are saying, no, you won't, because you're what's going to end up happening is either you're going to lose it or something's going to happen that it's going to get destroyed. So this is coming in for this transformation and saying you got to surrender it and just let it go and say it is where it is. And I got to trust that, you know what? I'm going to have the faith and it's going to work out. And it's scary because that change, like if you go back to your old neighborhood where you grew up and you start walking around, you start seeing the change in that neighborhood. Maybe it was the park that you used to play in and the park's no more. Maybe it's, there was maybe it's the house that you used to live in and maybe the house got torn down or it got, they did a remodel on it. So it doesn't even look the same. The change is, and then you're wanting to, it's like you're wanting to go backwards instead of just saying, no, I'm just going to let it go. It is what it is. And especially when we are having such, we haven't really felt Pluto, won't feel Pluto fully in Aquarius until it gets to 1 degree, which is in about February 22nd, just before the full moon. That we are not going to feel like everybody feels like, oh, everything's going to be fine, we're just going to continue going on how we're going to go, and I'm going to make these changes, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and you're going to find that everything's going to, it's basically, I feel like it's going to explode in people's faces because their expectations are probably too high. They're thinking that whatever's happening in the world is not going to affect us. Yet there's this trickle event that's coming in that's going to affect us immensely. And it's not to be afraid. And that's the thing. It's like, it's not to be afraid, but yet we feel afraid because we can't control it. And maybe it's going to make us uncomfortable. And maybe it's going to make us that we have to do things in a different way that we've never had to do. We have to change in a new way. And it's getting us to change in this new way. And the beautiful thing I love about this is that it is going to force us to do it, to make those changes within ourselves. That's where it is, not our exterior. The exterior is going to definitely change. I mean, people are thinking, oh yeah, I keep on hearing, oh, we're building here, we're building there. And I'm just like, holy fuck. They're not going to have all the materials to build with. Those building materials or whatever, they're going to be going into a different direction. And, a lot of what I'm saying right now is kind of like what I came out and said in 2017 to 2020, whatever. And people thought I was nuts and crazy about it, and that, what the fuck does she know? Not much, really. But how this is, beginning to inevitably change our lives and changing our lives forever. We're coming into a point and a moment where things are going to dramatically change by the end of this month and into March, where waves are coming forward and people are not expecting these waves, or they think the waves are way out there and they're not going to affect me. They're going to affect somebody else. They're going in a different direction. They're going towards someone else. But yet I need to know that if I want to transform, I'm just going to surrender. I'm gonna just say, dear Heavenly Father and Mother, please watch over me and guide me, and follow my intuition. Follow that guidance that I know is there. I know I'm not gonna have all the comforts. I know I definitely I could try and control things, but it's like trying to steer your car away from the slide. Like you're sliding, you're sliding on ice and you're trying to steer away from it, and that, instead of steering towards it, and you get the control. You know? It's like in a rip tide, you swim with the rip tide, you don't swim away from it. But everybody, if I got in a rip tide, of course, I mean, one, I'd be amazed I got into the ocean. But if I got into a rip tide, understanding that, yeah, hold your breath and go with that because it's gonna bring you to the top. And that's the thing, is that it's that fearful thing because we don't have control over it. We just gave our control over to something that we don't understand. Or we don't really know, or it just came upon us. And the conjunction, especially with the personal planets that are happening, in Aquarius. Now, Aquarius are very elusive type of energy. They're very much, focused on a lot of things at once. They're very aware of many different things that are coming in. And Pluto's the one that zones in and says, "Here, I need you to focus on this." When all of this is going on, I need you to focus on this. So it's like taking a toddler and saying, I need you to look just at this, while there's um, music over here and a clown over there and a horsey ride over there and friends over here. It's like getting an ADHD kid to focus on the one thing. You got to only focus on this. But I'll reveal to you. You won't see what it is yet. I'm not going to reveal it to you for a little bit, but you got to trust in me that I'm going to take you to a better place. So you got to surrender and trust in me, the divine, not me. You trust in me too, but the divine, the Holy Spirit, that I'm going to get you to where you need to go in amongst all of this chaos. And we're going to, and we're, it's going to be unfolding as we are entering into this weekend and into next week and going forward. So hang on tight, baby. It's gonna get crazy. Um, some of the craziness, what was it? I know you guys don't like hearing my shit, but since you're here, or if you're listening, then you're gonna hear the shit. Some of the things. Israel, Hezbollah attacks Israel. We have that 95 or 98 billion dollars going to the Ukraine and Israel. We have, and this is like, these are the things that you're going to find that, yeah, these are going to affect you. A major attack inside of Iran, the Russian Baltic, setting up along the border. Now, why do I bring these things up? I'm bringing them up as a reference for you to understand that these things that you don't think are going to affect you, that are waves way out there, are not going to affect you. But these are waves that are gonna come crashing in around us, either affecting us through our economy, when you go and fill up with the gas tank, when you go and try and buy your food or buy your favorite peanut butter and it's no longer there. This is where you go and you want to go buy a new outfit and you only have a very select to choose from because either the designer or the maker or whoever you buy from can't get all of it in at this time. So the mentality is starting to change. The way that we consume is going to start to change. The way that we interact with people is going to start to change. And it's going to be an awakening. When they don't have like in people who put up the little flag for the US for Ukraine, think about what you're putting that up for. Just think about it. Think about what you're backing. Those who put up the flag for Palestine, think about what you're backing. Think about it. And think about what those repercussions are. Yes, I know you're talking about, and I agree to disagree. All the babies that are dying. Babies are dying everywhere. Babies are dying in Yemen. Babies are dying in different parts in different wars in the Middle East. Babies are dying in China right now. Babies are dying here in Canada. We just hear numbers being thrown at us by the UN, who you can totally trust, right? You can trust the UN because they're a very reliable source. Or Amnesty International, very reliable sources, right? You know. Um, and that's the thing. But you got to look at the underlying information to it all. That's the thing. Not saying one is good and one is bad, but you got to get to the grips of it. You got to get to the understanding of it. This is an analogy that was given to me today, and I thought this was great. Let's say you have your property. Okay, and this is where transformation and everything comes in. You have your property and you're doing your thing on your property. And then one day your neighbor decides to put a gun pointed at your front door. And you say, "Why are you putting the gun at my door?" And while you're doing some stuff on your property I don't like and I don't feel safe that you're putting it on my front, doing in your yard. Okay, well, I'm not doing anything to bother you. Well, I don't know if you might come after me one day. Okay. All right. Uh, but do you have to have a gun at my front door? Well, just in case. What do you think you're going to do? That's sort of the analogy that, for what's happening, with USSR and Russia, or USSR, I don't know why I said but Ukraine and Russia, and what's going on there. This is where people have to awaken, right? And as they get to see, because you're starting to see, it's like if they cannot get any more men to fight in the Ukraine, where do you think they're going to get them? So there's the big wave. There's the big wave. Where are they going to get them? This is part of the wake up. This is part of the transformation. Now the surrendering is saying that I know God's going to take me to a place that's going to help me. And it's going to show me. Show me where I need to go and what I need to do. And trusting in that. Show me in the connections that I connect with. And help me to have that discernment, to have the discernment of what is being unfolded before me. And that's where the energies are right now, especially with Pluto and Aquarius. And you got, we've never seen, like, even when the sun goes into Pisces, we haven't had a sun conjunct, which is going to be on the 18th, 4 days from now, on the 19th, a sun conjunct Saturn in Pisces for a hell of a long time. We haven't had that. So we got to look at that. That hasn't happened for what, 28 years, 27 years. So this change that is, and even back then Neptune wasn't there. So you have Neptune that's there as well. So let's just throw him in. So here we have this change that wants to come in and awaken us and start saying, hey, we got to awaken. We got to start looking around to see what's going on. And in that awakening, it gets us to really start to have a different focus, a different focus on our community, a different focus in how we are going to be relating to one another, and starting to look at what is truly important in our lives and what is that importance in our life. And not just throw out something just because, well, I might make $100,000 on it or what have you. Instead of saying, you know what, this is pretty priceless. Maybe I'm going to keep it for a while. This is going to get me through, and maybe it's going to be on the other side that I'm going to be able to either sell it, utilize it, or what have you. But right now it's working for me just fine. Those are the things that we have to look at and awaken to. Hopefully this all makes sense to you. There's a lot coming in. And I think, one of the reasons, that it took me so long to get on, not only was I running around, and Mateus we had a dance party at a school, which was absolutely adorable. They had a little dance Macarena, and they did the twist, and they did YMCA. So it was quite cute to go see today. But this is where, in trying to get, it was, dealing with this energy and looking at it and saying, okay, how can I deliver this in a way that brings in, the love and the understanding on Valentine's Day, yet letting you know that things are going to be dramatically changing in a way that we are, that we have to really, really look at. There is peace and surrender. Yes, there is. There is peace and surrender, and stepping into it, stepping into that. Okay, that's going to be the biggest part, because internationally, at 0 degrees, any planet at 0 degrees, international, well, I'm going to say internationally, the world point, this is where things are going to get very intense. And this is where we're going to feel like we want to control, because I want my comfort. I don't want to give this up. And we're going to have to say, okay, I got to give it up, because I can't have all of this anymore, because it's not going to be there. You're going to wake up and it's not going to be there. That community hall that you went to all the time is not going to be there. Right? Yeah. Oh, your dreams were exhausting last night? Yeah. Yeah. Well, especially with it, there's a lot happening, not, with that Chiron energy with the North Node, of really getting deep into our wounds. And this is getting deep into the world wounds. Everybody's offended, by something someone said, someone did, someone looked at me the wrong way. Like, it's like, oh my goodness. This is getting deep, getting into those deep wounds and looking at those deep wounds and coming back to a place where there's love, where there's peace, where there is, compassion for one another. Yet setting up new boundaries. And, Pluto and Mars are Scorpio rulers. And Scorpio is about boundaries. How far can I push your boundaries? I'm going to push your boundaries. How far can I push your boundaries? And that's bringing in the taboo, bringing in, and it's also, when you look at Scorpio also controls banks, commerce, right? Joint, what's joint? So, the when it comes to money, and so government money's our money, but they're spending it left, right, and center on bullshit. I mean, one of the reasons why people are so pissed off at our mayor, of the way that she's spending the money. It's just like, what the fuck? Why? Or trying, because she's not getting a deal, or she's not in on the deal for the new center. you know, new saddle dome that they want to build. I don't know if they're going to call it saddle dome, but anyways, um, but she's wanting to add a tax on it and all of this, and this is where people are starting to get no more taxes, no more of this. Why are you taking so much away from me and I can't even live? Yet, whatever you're taking away from me isn't even coming back within my community in a positive way. It's not fighting, it's not helping the homelessness. I just watched a whole series in, I think it was Holland, and how they got rid of their homelessness and the drug addiction. It was tough love. But of course, I got my rights, right? Well, no, you don't have your rights when you're taking over a street and you're taking over the downtown and you're shitting everywhere and you're shooting up. No, this is where the awakening happens and saying, no, we got to have that tough love. The tough love comes in and says, no, we're not going to do this anymore. We're not just going to let you put your shanty little towns all over the place and live on the side of the street and smell it up. No, that causes disease, that causes other problems. I mean, it's you when I look at it, my first thought when I saw some of these little shanty towns being set up, it was really weird when I was looking at some of them because it brought me to the medieval times, as weird as that sound. Sort of like I got transported to this time when people lived in filth. Literally. I mean, people really they didn't bath all the time, because one, you don't have running water all the time, middle of winter, where are you going to bathe, right? You a lot of times you lived with your animals, right? You brought them in so they didn't die over the winter time. So, it stunk. You shit outside or you shit in a bucket, so I mean, it was filthy. It was filthy. And there was, you know, lice and all kinds of other diseases. That's the way it was. And it's even in if you ever watch any of the about the old castles and the architecture and the archaeologists going out, they love it when they find they call it a shithole or uh, where they the lord and in the castle they would have this one place and they would have a hole basically, and they would just poo outside, like it would just go down this right right outside, like the hole just opened up to go upside. And then whoever got to clean it out at the bottom got to clean it out, right? But they find things in there, like, because people lose things down the toilet all the time. Human beings haven't changed much. There goes their precious little pearl. There goes my iPhone down the sewer. Um, but so finding things, but I mean, it transported me back to that, when I see this and I'm just like, wow, okay, what has changed and what is staying the same? We might have these beautiful buildings, but then again, they could have been like, well, yeah, we have these beautiful buildings because if you look at some of the when the Romans went into Britannia, Britain at the time, their homes were beautiful and they had floor heating. Their floors were heated. That's not a new concept that just appeared. They've had under, their floors were heated all through their house, and they had different ways of heating, right? So here, these poor people living in these little shanties because they took care of the flock or they grew the crops or what have you, are looking at all the beautiful houses. So what's changed? What's changed? Except it might seem that we are more modern and I'm able to talk to you because you're not in my town or my city. You are, you know, somewhere else. That's, technology has changed. That's what's changed. So it's just interesting. Now we're coming to a place where, yeah, now you really have to change, but we're changing because we're going through this photon belt within the planet. So more light is coming in. It's a 25,000 year transit. So that's getting us to enlighten, to see things, to be awakened in new ways. But in order to do that, we have to Surrender. Crazy, man. Crazy. Well, ah, that's all I got to say. Um, uh, a few things I'm going to I'll probably do it tomorrow. A few things are going to be changing. I was going to teach this weekend the moon, but I'm going to move it to another date. It'll probably be after Easter into April. So if anybody was interested in doing the moon class, it won't be till April. I'm going to change that till then. And same with the healing one. So let's pull some cards for this Valentine's Day. Got the Golden Tarot. And let's do the Mermaid and Dolphins. Pull them out. This weekend, I am at the Awakening Wellness Expo. It's in the Northeast. It's on 32nd. I posted on my Facebook. I know where it is. So anybody who's from the Calgary area, if you know where Franklin Mall is, it's a there's an A&W and a McDonald's there on the corner. There's a hotel in the back. That's where I'm going to be. That's the best way I know how to explain it. Anybody who's from Calgary will, I know where that is. So I'm going to be there this weekend. And I'm just doing readings. I don't have anything to sell as yet. So I might be bringing some teas in. I'm going to look into it. So for the next expos, I'll be bringing in some mugwort and some Damiana and other teas. The Old Coast Palazzo. I think that's what it's called. Yes. Let's see. Do. Awaken Wellness one. Just get you the address. It is on it's called it's the Best Western Premier Calgary Plaza Hotel and Conference, 1316 33rd Street Northeast. I'll be there from 9 a.m. till 5. So if you're interested in coming, there are people doing talks. So if you are wanting to come in, and there are different people doing talks throughout the day, and you can go and listen to their talks. So it's and it's right behind the McDonald's there. So if you're interested in coming, and come and see me, I'll be doing readings. I'm going to be doing I got to get some signage. That's what I got to do. I got to get signage. Print out some signage. So I was going to do readings for $40. Because that's what I do when I do go up north. But you know what I find? No offense to Calgarians. Calgarians are fucking cheap. Where up north, in Edmonton and in surrounding areas, I can get $40 for a reading at an expo. Sometimes when I go do expos, I don't know, maybe this is what I noticed. Let me know if that's true or not. But here, I feel like I have to do them for $30. And Calgary's more expensive to live. How weird is that? I don't know. So and I know people are going to tell me, well, nobody has any money. Yet they spent $5,000. You know, people like there's no money. Yet people spent $5,000 on a Super Bowl ticket. And Jonas Brother tickets in the nosebleed seats are going for $201. Crazy. And people are spending that. See, that's the wave that's coming in. Just an FYI. That's the wave that's coming in because people are saying nothing's going to change. I'm going to be okay. And bang, it's going to hit. Let's see what little mermaids have to say. Morning affirmations. Say positive affirmations each morning to open the gates of manifestation. Morning affirmations. Look at those little ones. So those little affirmations, those positive affirmations that you say each and every day, allow for things to grow and spread. And as you say them, consult an expert. So more information is needed. So if you're needing a reading, I just shuffled. If you're needing a reading, this says book in a reading. Consult an expert on whatever it is that you are wanting to do. You might be, as you're doing your morning affirmations, information comes in, and that information as it comes in, it's saying, okay, you need to do X, Y, and Z. And you're like, well, I don't know what to do. So you need to consult. You need to find out. So maybe you need an advisor when it comes to your finances. Maybe you need somebody to talk to you about your car, your house, your health, your spiritual life, right? Your relationships. And you need someone to help you with that because you're doing the affirmations, but you need that oomph, because affirmations are great. They're putting the vibration out. Now you got to do the action steps in order to create it to happen, right? And then you make the wish because things are magical. So you got a wish that's coming in. So you got to make those wishes. And as you make those wishes, you got a little bit of conflict. So maybe those affirmations that you're doing, you're sort of like throwing them out all over the place. They're feeling very conflicted with them. You're feeling very conflicted with it because you're like, I'm doing the affirmations, but I have to step into my spiritual self. I have to step in and get the counseling that I need. And the counseling is the spiritual counseling. Get your spiritual counseling in order to help to bring in the changes that you want, to bring forth the transformation that you want. You're saying all the right things, you're putting all the energy out, but you have to step into the spirituality. That's why things feel chaotic. Where's your spirituality? Where's your spiritual base? Where's that prayer? Where's that meditation? And where's that action that you're doing for it, right? And bringing that action in, because when you do, here comes that king. That king, he's got the Midas touch. He knows how to build things in this world. He knows how to plant things and make them happen. And so you have to work with that. So you got to make a wish. You're making a wish. This is magical moments. I want to enjoy the manifestations. He wants to help you to create the manifestations and do it, but he knows there's work to do it. He's a king. He got to be a king by doing things, and he has to get out there and create it. He can't just hide away, because when you hide away, it doesn't work. It doesn't work, right? And with that all comes the star. So the star comes out and says, you know what? There's things that we have to create. There's a balance that we have to bring in. And within that balance, when we bring it in, you have to have faith. You have to have faith in it all, in what you are wanting to create and what you are wanting to do, and surrender it and say, okay, you know what? This is what I want to do and create. I'm going to surrender it. I'm going to trust in my intuition in the direction I need to go into and what I want to build. And as I'm building it, I have to bring that balance of love, that balance of joy, that balance of peace and transformation, and bring it forward. And as I do it, things start to move in the direction, even though the world is chaotic and crazy. It may not seem like everything's going to fit together, or everything seems to be all over the place right now. That's okay. That's okay. Just go with it. Go with it. You may not have the answers or know how it's all going to work out. Don't worry. It will. You just don't try and take the control and say, I have to make it fit into the way I want it to fit in, because that's more comfortable for me. That's when Pluto comes in and says, really? You really think it's going to work that way? Sigh, baby. I got a different plan for you. So we have this energy squeezing us in. So just understand that, and we're between two outer planets, from Uranus to Pluto. That's like intense energies. squeezing us in, and then we're between Neptune and Pluto. So Pluto's sort of the anchor with all of this energy, and he's coming in and just saying, you know what? I'll give you three choices. There's always three factors with Pluto. And are you going to work with those three factors, or are you going to take one away and just have two? And then he's going to laugh at you and say, okay, let me watch. See, you'll fall. Okay, you fell. Can you get up again? Do you want the next offer? Do you want to work with that? Or you want to continue to try and make it work the way that you want it to work and think that you know it? Yeah. Anyways, I want you all to have a blessed day. May the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you, and all you say and all you be and all you do. Have a blessed one, everyone. May come on again tonight because I'm working and it's usually boring on a Wednesday night. So you might be seeing a lot of crazy posts from me. So have a blessed one. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.